first saw this movie when I was 9 years old. I was terrified by it. Even though I was more afraid of someone breaking into our house and shooting us all, the paranormal elements still left me kind of, shaken. I decided to review this movie and try to look at it from a critical, neutral point of view, if, to forgive the expression, exorcise some demons. And as an adult, I'd like to think I can recognize the difference between movie and real life. So let's haunt the Amityville Horror. Alright, here we go. It still gets to me. How does it do that? Why am I filming this at night? A kid kills his entire family while they're sleeping in bed. Mother, father, 4 children, with a shotgun. This cop is investigating the murders. He'll also have very little influence on this story. Meet George and Kathy Lutz. Recently married, they're looking for a nice big house to move into. She has 3 kids from a previous marriage, and he has a beard.
Nothing like it on the market. Not at this price.
And we get some quick flashbacks to remind you of the killings that happened 3 minutes ago.
See anything you like?
I didn't freeze that. The movie did. Or maybe it was ghosts. Ooh.
I just wish that all those people hadn't died here.
Even with the killings fully disclosed, you just can't beat a bargain. I read that this house recently went on sale in real life. No. God, those windows. Cut to the Lutzes moving in.
What do you want to do with this?
Oh, I know. Put it in the living room on that wall there beside the bookshelf, and the light will come through the window. It'll look beautiful.
Please don't toss Jesus. While the family plays out back, the neighborhood priest just waltzes into the house. Let yourself in, why don't you? Some would say this is rude. He tries a house blessing in what is apparently the fly breeding room. His blessing is not appreciated. You're letting all the flies out. What's that? I didn't catch that. You didn't have to tell him twice. Do you think the ghost would have been okay if he just knocked first? Ooh, somebody ate at Arby's.
Hey, honey, dinner's ready.
Did you kill a kid already?
Hello?
Hello?
The priest tries to reach out and bless someone.
Kathy?
I think Ma Bell's gone wacko again.
I would refrain from using the term wacko. You'll understand in a few years. George starts acting a little off. He's always cold, and his attitude gets a little bipolar-y. He checks for the source of the drafts in the basement. Look, I know this is probably a portal to hell, but who wouldn't love a basement that big? I mean, I could totally rock it out as a man cave. You got your foosball table, portal to hell, Xbox. That night, George is cockblocked by a scared kid. Another horror trope. Well, 2 tropes in one. The child is scared awake, and the rocking chair rocking with nobody in it. I think he finished without you. Thanks to this movie, I developed an unpleasant phobia of 3:15 a.m. Every once in a while, I'll wake up for one reason or another, but if I see the time is 3:15, I am not moving. Sorry, bladder, I'm not getting up. George can't sleep, so he wanders down to the boathouse. When you're up at 3:15, look at the fun things you miss out on. Okay, it was just a jump scare, but it was actually more funny than scary.
You're in my neighborhood, bitch.
George wants to renew his man card, so he gets in some wood chopping time. Then he's gonna put on Old Spice and chew tobacco. There's a subplot about the priest going through some things of his own.
The father was at your house yesterday.
He didn't come.
Phrasing?
We learn 2 things about our couple. Kathy loves looking into the mirror like a cockatiel, and George likes to burn things. And lately, the only wood in this house is the stuff George has been chopping.
This happens all the time.
Well, not to me, it doesn't.
2 priests are driving in a car. That's not a joke setup, it's really happening.
Tell me something, Father.
You know what they call a Big Mac in the Vatican?
You're good.
but their car mysteriously loses control.
Next time goeth to Midas.
While everyone is at a wedding, Amy's invisible friend Jody locks the babysitter in the closet. This part got pretty freaky. The music escalating, the frantic panic. It couldn't get much worse, right? The parents let her out when they get home. You better have a hell of a tip, George. Meanwhile, in his own movie, the priest tries to get help from higher up. Not that high.
Now, I was in the house and I heard the voices too.
But the brass don't believe him. Besides, since they caught the shark, he still has to open the beaches. Wait. Amityville. Amity. Coincidence?
Frank, how long has it been since you've seen your family?
Turn in your badge, your Bible, and your gun. You're off the Lutz case. George's friends visit, but his wife is not digging the house. Are you sure it's the house and not the axe-wielding maniac?
What are you two rascals doing in my room, huh?
Oh, fuck this house. Once again, George is up at 3:15, and thunder blows open the front door. The cop shows up again and does absolutely nothing.
Are you related to the family that was here before? You look a lot like them.
Really, why is he in this movie? George checks into the local library, but I guess he forgot his card. George apparently looks a lot like the kid who killed his family at the beginning.
You look just like that kid.
That 20-year-old must have looked like shit. And Kathy finally gets a glimpse of Jody.
You scared her. She went out the window.
I couldn't look out a dark window for years after seeing that. George's friends listen to his problems, and we get another trope. The know-it-all character who's suddenly psychic.
Devil worship. Death. Sacrifice.
We're back in the basement. Rude. Today on Haunted Renovations, we knock down what we hope is not a load-bearing wall to open up some space. Inside is a tiny room with red walls. A tiny red room. Psychic Know-It-All delivers a message.
The passage to hell.
Dig it up, cover it up, make up your mind. So nobody's gonna address the tiny red room? No? Okay, moving on. While trying to bless the house on their own, without professional supervision I might add, the house attacks Kathy where it hurts, her vanity. Remember earlier when she's always looking in a mirror? Well, the house makes her look slightly older. It's hard to tell in this groovy 70s wall mirror, but she's supposed to be aged. But the priest goes rogue and attempts an unsanctioned off-site blessing. Keep in mind this was before the internet. And he's stricken blind for his efforts. $3:15 again, and George is having another breakdown.
What do you want from us? God damn it, this is my house!
Technically, it's the bank's house. Read your mortgage. Kathy has another nightmare. No more crack before bed. The Lutzes are falling apart, and they have a massive fight.
You bastard.
Careful, George. You don't want her calling her old boyfriend.
This is the November 14th issue. That's the day after the murders.
Before Google, there was microfiche, the go-to resource for relevant information. See, in my day, we had to work for our exposition. None of this Google shit. I can't lie, those glasses are kinda hot. On the final night of their month in this house, yeah, they were just here a month, Kathy comes home to George being slightly more insane. And George meets Jody. Really? This is Jody? That'll do, demon. Really, why do demons take on animal forms? So George goes looking for the kids. Spare the axe, spoil the child. Kathy intervenes, but for a moment she appears like an old woman. Was he supposed to have been hallucinating this whole time? Her pleading gets through to him and he snaps out of it.
Kathy?
So we're not going to address the attack. The house renovates itself and a well full of black goo opens up. What, you don't have one too?
I'm a random windstorm. Shaky. Shaky, shaky, shaky.
Quick to trust again, the fam gets the fuck out. Why is this house bleeding? They get outside, into their van, but the dog is left behind. Brr, fuck you guys! There's a short, pointless sequence where they look for the keys to the van, which they had all along. What, you don't keep your keys in the visor like the rest of Hollywood? When the family is a short distance away, George stops. At first I thought he was about to slaughter the family. How twisted would that have been? But instead, George goes back to the house for the fucking dog. Yep, nobody is braver or cooler than a stepdad. The dog is, where else? The basement. George falls into that well in the red room, and the dog helpfully pulls out his master by the jugular.
Floor it, Mom. You can remarry and we can get another dog.
Man and dog flee the house via cesarean. The family escapes the haunting, the demons, and a crippling mortgage. Hello, book deal. And that was the Amityville Horror. The two subplots with the cop and the priest went nowhere. But it did illustrate that the two allies of the family, the physical and the spiritual, were ultimately useless. Honestly, if you remove their scenes, you would never miss them.
James Brolin played unhinged pretty well. This even kept him from snagging roles for the next few years after this movie.
Margot Kidder as Kathy played the frantic, screaming housewife pretty well, but she wasn't the strongest character. Even when trying to protect her kids from George, her finishing move was begging him not to hurt them. I know, it was a different time. Fuck this house. And the soundtrack still gives me the willies. As haunted house movies go, this one broke a lot of ground. It's a classic.
I still like this one better than the remake with Ryan Reynolds. It's not bad, and they do kinda complement each other. But the original sticks in your mind. Based on a true story? Who really knows? It's said that this true story is actually a hoax cooked up by the Lutzes. Of course the Lutzes stand by their story, but none of the other homeowners ever reported anything supernatural. I just wish I heard about that when I was younger. I might have gotten more sleep.
If you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe, you know you want to, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and I better go before that theme starts up again. Oh no you don't.